Welcome back. Welcome back to some more videos. This time I'm gonna be looking at the final Blue Sky film on the list. Well, it's in general, actually, technically in general. But before I get any further, remember to hit that subscribe button and keep up with, well, if you guys are interested in my reviews, check out my other playlist on other movies and even Blue Sky. I've done reviews on the other films. If you guys want to see my thoughts on them, check them out. Overall though, I think Blue Skies have been a pretty good journey so far. So let's see how they ended off. Anywho, without further ado, let's get into the review. Blue Sky's final film. It's about pigeons. Pigeons. But yeah, pigeons. Pigeons, though, are pretty common birds. They're actually very common. There actually used to be messenger pigeons. Yes, it's true. There were messenger pigeons. Not anymore. I don't think they use pigeons for messengers because we got phones now and stuff. But they used to use pigeons for messaging people and stuff back in the day. I heard there was a type of pigeon that went extinct. Used to be able to find them all over all over the sky and stuff. That was before, there were planes and stuff back in the 1900s and stuff. So a long time ago. I don't remember when they went extinct, but I've heard about them. I don't know if they were called messenger pigeons or not, but hey, I don't really know. I don't got anything fancy to talk about here, so let's just talk about Spies in Disguise. Spies in Disguise is the last Blue Sky film. It's the last Blue Sky film of Blue Sky. This is the only film that Disney has made under Blue Sky. Well, Blue Sky made under Disney, so yeah, before they got terminated. But I'll go my thoughts about that when I'm done with the review. But yeah, basically though, yeah, they had this film here that came out. It actually didn't do very well in the box office. It actually did pretty bad. It didn't do horrible. I think it did better than Lightyear did. Disney's newest, I think, film in the theaters. I think they got Marvel in the theaters now too. Marvel film in the theaters, but I think this one did better than Lightyear, definitely. But it didn't do as well as they were hoping. I'm probably thinking that because a lot of people are probably when they bought Fox, when Disney bought Fox, people started turning on them a bit because people were getting. You should have seen the reactions to people when they were announcing they were buying it. People were freaking out. They were freaking out. You could tell on their facial expressions they were freaking out. But I don't know. But enough about that. Let's talk about the film. What did I think about the film? What did I think about it? Well, actually, it wasn't really that bad. I think it was better than the last film I reviewed, and that film was kind of generic. This one's actually pretty entertaining. The jokes, however, aren't the best. There's a few jokes I liked, let me see, I think his name's Lancert or something. Hold on, I got his name here, hold on. I actually wrote the names down this time so I could remember. Lance, Sir Lance or something like that. Well, let's call him Lance, for short. Apparently he was actually a female pigeon, which is pretty funny, so, yeah. Now, I gotta say, too, I know a lot of people may have not seen this film, but so you guys know, I don't usually, do spoil-free videos. If I do spoil-free videos, it will be in the title. But I don't think I'm ever gonna do that because in the comments people spoil stuff anyway. So I figure there's no point of doing that. You know, it's like a game. Like I don't really if they have spoil-free games, I don't really watch them anyway because people in the comments can talk about them and stuff. So. Yeah, of course, unless they shut the comments off. So, none of my reviews have been spoiled free. So, they're all going to be spoiled. So, yeah. So, if I get any further, please don't, get mad at me, because I will be spoiling this movie. I know I spoiled something there, but that's not a major plot, to the movie. But if I end up not spoiling something, I'll try to remember to put it in the title. But I basically usually spoil movies, so yeah. So if you guys have not seen the movie yet, I would not recommend watching this video unless you want to be spoiled, you know. So yeah. Basically though, yeah, the jokes though in this movie don't hold up to it. They're not awful like Epic. God, I freaking hate Epic. Epic's probably the worst Blue Sky film I've had to see. It was pretty generic and frustrating at times. But still, still though, I don't think it was really that bad. I don't think it was bad at all. I think it's actually a good film. It's actually good. So it's actually pretty good. Like I said, the jokes are probably the weakest part of the film, but overall, all the characters are likable. And I know Will Smith voices one of the characters in this movie. He voices the main black guy, the Asian guy. But you can't, I know people don't like Will Smith anymore because after what happened at the Oscars, but remember this. A lot of celebrities in Hollywood are corrupted or something. Not all of them. I think Tom Kenny's a pretty good celebrity. I think he's not really a celebrity. He's more of a voice actor. I'm not sure, but I don't know if you would call Tom Kenny a celebrity. But I don't let that stop me from enjoying a film. I just don't. If I just won't watch any more of their films or something. I don't know. I mean. I try not to let it stop me, from enjoying a film. Because you could argue about that with Madagascar 2, where Alec Baldwin voices the bad lion guy. People don't like him anymore either after what he did to this person, and try to cover it up by, saying he didn't kill someone or something like that. I don't know. You just can't let that stuff stop you from enjoying something. So yeah, because it's gonna happen all the time. That's what Hollywood's all about. Now you could be like, well, you've talked about you refuse to, watch any new Disney movies because of that. Well, Disney's a different story. Disney is a corporation, and a corporation, they need money to go on, and if they don't have money, they can't go on. So yeah, they don't have money, they can't make a lot of films and stuff. So see, the thing is though, is a lot of people don't spend money on stores and stuff. My dad's like that with Walmart. He won't give Walmart a dime because he doesn't like Walmart. And that's their choice, and that's my choice too. Basically, a celebrity is a different story. A celebrity, celebrities I don't think can get money off of stuff as much if the film doesn't do very well. So I don't know. I know people aren't really happy with Will Smith, but I think the film is still pretty good. I still really like it. I think Will Smith does do a pretty good job here at voicing this character. Even though people again down the road don't like Will Smith anymore. But remember, like I said, you can't let that stop you from enjoying something in the past. Even if you don't want to watch any more movies with Will Smith in it, remember there's the past when the past was good and stuff. That's why I like watching like old Pixar movies and Disney movies and stuff from the 1980s and 90s and stuff, because those were the good times. So I don't want to be reminded of the bad times. That's why I prefer watching like 90s Disney movies and stuff over the 2020 movies and stuff. If you get my picture. But yeah, enough about that though. I want to talk about some characters here. There's also Walter. He's a scientist. Basically, his goal in the movie is he wants to be partners with Lance. He wants to be partners with Lance, the spy, but Lance wants to do everything on his own. So it's kind of like the Emperor's New Groove in a way. I've not seen that film either. This is actually the first time I'm seeing this film. I've actually been going through this pretty much with fresh eyes. I saw the trailer in the past, but yeah, I'm going through this and pretty much with fresh eyes. But I mentioned that in my collision course review. So yeah. So yeah. But yeah, basically though, I think he's a pretty good character too, and all that, and well, I mean, Will Smith is, I mean Lance and Walter, but like I said, it does remind me of Emperor's New Groove, because I heard that film, the main character was selfish and he needed to learn a lesson at the end. That's kind of how they do here too. So. But I have not seen Emperor's New Groove. I have not seen that movie, so yeah. But overall, though, I think, this film is actually pretty good, and I really do like it. And for some reason, here's what's weird. The opening to this movie, it's actually pretty good. I like the opening, I really do. The thing is, though, what's funny about this is the opening. The opening to the film doesn't start until like about 10 minutes into the film, I think. So it's kind of weird how it just starts out of nowhere, and I think it's just really weird how it just starts out of nowhere. It's a pretty catchy opening. I like it, but I'm just like, why couldn't? Because there was a segment where Walter was a kid, and it only lasted about 3 minutes or so, 2 or 3 minutes. And then they could have done the intro that way, but I don't know. I don't know though. I really don't know what that is, but yeah, I gotta say though, I do think the intro to this movie is really good. It's really catchy. Probably the best of Blue Sky ever. And Blue Sky didn't really have too many intros. I mean, they had the Fox one in the logo, but they didn't have an actual intro based for the movie itself. They don't do that too much, I've noticed, in movies. They got the intro to the studio, and then the intro to the mini studio, and then they have the one with well then sometimes they have one with the movie, but this is one of the only times I've seen that, so that's pretty good. They actually made it fancy and stuff. I like that. But I do like the villain in this movie. The villain's kind of threatening too. I wish he would have got killed at the end, though. Yeah, he didn't get killed. I think he got arrested or something because they caught him. I'm like I hate that. Like, you used to in movies, like, they used to have the villains actually get killed at the end, but they don't do that anymore. They kind of stopped doing that, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's too violent for kids or something, but that's what ruins modern Disney is their freaking villains. They don't have cool, deaths with them anymore. Cause it's satisfying to see the villain, get taken out, in a satisfying way. I mean, it's all right if they get, it's all right if they, get arrested occasionally, but I feel like they do that too often now and stuff. And I like to see the villain get killed at or something, that'd be satisfying. Now, there was a villain in Rio 2, I think he got eaten by a snake. I think he died there, but I don't know, it's just not as satisfying anymore with most villains, because most villains don't have deaths anymore, so yeah. Most villains do not have deaths, so, yeah. Another thing that's pretty funny, too, is the song, I don't know if you guys seen the Simpsons movie or not, but in the song, there's a song, that appears, when Marge is showing the wedding video to Homer when she left Homer, and you hear a song that appears in this movie too. It appears in the car scene, so that's pretty good. I like that. Also, fun fact: if you guys see the fun fact down there at the bottom, there's actually a character that actually cusses in this movie. That person that cusses is the agent himself, Lance. He actually cusses. So Lance actually cusses. He actually says a bad word. This is in the segment where they're the science guy here, Walter has a gun, a game, I meant to say a game, and he has a game and stuff, and he ends up falling, and then Lance actually, I gotta keep looking down at my envelope here, Lance actually cusses, they bleep it out, but he actually cusses, which is really funny. I had to rewatch that scene just to be sure, and I think he did cuss, which is pretty funny. But I do think there's a lot of good segments in this movie. I do. I don't think it's the greatest. I don't think it's as good as the Peanuts movie or Ice Age 1, but I still think it's pretty good though. I think it's actually pretty good, and I really, really like it. I really do like it, though. But, yeah, overall, though, I think there's a lot of great things to like about this, and, I don't really know if I have a lot else to say, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a score. And the score is going to be, well, since it's actually a pretty good film, and the jokes are the downside, I think I'm going to be giving it 93 points. That's right, 93 points. I don't know if you guys heard the sound effect on the 3DS or not. If not, well, next time I'll turn off the music there, But yeah, basically though, this film is getting 93 points. I really enjoyed this film. I really did. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I think it again, the jokes were not the best. I think but they didn't feel as bad as they didn't feel as bad as Epic. I think they were handled a whole lot better and stuff. And although I think the message at the end was you can't kill a criminal, I think it's kind of stupid, honestly. Once I heard the main character Walter talk about that to Lance, I knew it was gonna be knew they were gonna save the villain at the end. I hate that because I want to see the villain die. I know it's wrong to see someone die, but that's what made, the older Blue Sky films and Disney films so unique. Remember the first Ice Age movie when what's his face? I forgot his name. Soto. His name was Soto. Sorry, I forgot his name. Soto actually meets his demise and actually dies. That was so satisfying. But now these days, all the villains just get arrested or something. It's sad. It's not as satisfying anymore. It's too predictable. That's what makes the villain dying so unique. because when they die, it's so unpredictable what's gonna happen when they die. Either they fall off a cliff, or they or they get stabbed or something. It's so unique. And although you gotta, I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, they do kind of copy them sometimes, but still, I think it's still unique. It's still unique, and if I made films down the road, I probably would do the same thing. I probably would do villain deaths, just because they're so unique. But overall, I think otherwise, besides the jokes and the message, I think this film is really good. I think it's the characters are all likable, even Lance, even though he's kind of an asshole, he's still likable. They don't make him a complete jackass and an unlikable prick. They actually make him, a character. And I like how, unlike modern Disney, where they freaking need to make every female a freaking a unstoppable machine that doesn't need anyone's help or anything, and actually they don't need their help at all. They actually make Lance. I mean, Lance is technically a male character, but they actually make him a character that actually needs help. They don't make him just this unstoppable character. They actually give him a character where he does need help. He has his flaws, because I hear in the Moana movie, the Moana movie that came out, the live action one, I heard a freaking turn Moana's character into a freaking a person who does not need anyone's help and does not have any flaws at all. I freaking hate that. I might actually talk about that trope down the road. I might do a video on that too. Not right now, but maybe down the road I'll talk about that, because I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about there, because it had a similar problem back in the early days too of animation, but I'll get to that down the road. But right now I want to talk about the film, itself, But yeah, I think overall though, I think it's pretty good. And 93 points is definitely pretty good. It would have got higher, but the jokes are kind of slacking, and I think the message actually at the end is kind of, not very good. But I think overall this film is pretty good, and I would definitely recommend this film. I would definitely recommend it. And I think it's a pretty good film, and I think they ended off Blue Sky pretty well. I also forgot to look at the case too, the inside of the case when I was done watching the movie. I didn't want to be spoiled with the movie, so I waited to watch the case. Oops, hold on a second. There we go. Hope that didn't screw up my thumbnail. Okay, so apparently, since this is the first movie made by Disney, I guess they have a Disney movie thing in here, but I don't know. I didn't know that. Well, I saw it in there, and I was gonna take a look, but I didn't know if it would spoil the characters or not in the movie. So yeah. But overall, though, that's basically it for this movie. It's definitely got its problems. I said, the jokes are kind of stupid, except for the part where Lance was actually a female pigeon. That was pretty funny, but otherwise it was not. The jokes were, but they're not super duper forced either. They just feel they're just trying to be funny. I don't know. It's just not really funny. But overall, I think this film is definitely pretty good. And I think Blue Sky is ended off on a good note. And that is every Blue Sky film reviewed. So that's basically every Blue Sky film reviewed. So overall, Blue Sky has had a strong journey. Now it's time to give this studio a score on 0 through 120 points. Well, let's go over the paper here. Look, I wrote all this stuff down. So Ice Age 1 got a good. Robots got a good. I don't know. Ice Age, 2 got, they got, I think that was 49 points and stuff. I'm not going to go over all of them, but overall, a lot of films are actually good and stuff. They're actually good. There's actually two bads though, two bads and some meh, but even the meh ones are still really enjoyable. So overall, I think Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky here. Blue Sky is actually I'm actually gonna give Blue Sky a score here. And Blue Sky is going to, I'm going to give Blue Sky, I'm going to give Blue Sky 95 points. 95. Blue Sky is getting 95 points. Now that may sound a bit high, for if it has two bads, but there's only two movies that are really bad, and one of them is really not that bad. Collision Course is not like god awful. It's frustrating to see Ellie and stuff in there and stuff. So, and a lot of the films are really good. Sure, some of them don't hit very very hard, but they're still enjoyable. And all the meh ones are also got stuff to enjoy about too. Unlike Illumination, a lot of the mehs were kind of they were okay, but they weren't really like super duper enjoyable, like I know Mad Beans are they're okay, but even that is just, I don't know, a lot of the Illumination films that were meh were kind of just generic and don't have as much rewatchability as the Blue Sky films. I don't know, but overall though, I think 95 is pretty good. It would have probably got a higher score if some of the films were not bad, but some of the films were actually bad, and there were some films that were kind of meh, but there's hardly any of them that are meh. Hardly any of them. A lot of them have gotten really good scores, like really good scores, which is really good. But I think that's pretty good, though. I mean, yeah, it may sound high, but remember, 120 even means that there could be a few flaws or something in the studio itself. But I'm judging this basically on the movies and stuff. And I think overall, a lot of the movies were pretty good. They had original films. Sure, a lot of them were sequels, like Illumination, But I think overall, they have a lot of original films too. I know Illumination had some too. They had some original films too. They had Scene and stuff. But I feel like they don't have as much original films as Blue Sky. Of course, Blue Sky also has more films than Illumination right now. So I don't know. But the films that have come out for Illumination are all sequels. So I don't know. And now let's talk about some stuff about Blue Sky here. Blue Sky. Let's talk about some notes here for Blue Sky. The notes are there's actually been a sequel to a film almost every single time. After a Collision Course, they ended up stopped doing that, and I think even they were done with Ice Age because I heard someone in one video said Blue Sky was gonna make another one, but here's the thing, after that there was no more Ice Age movies announced, and they were gonna make another film, another original film called I don't remember what the heck it was called. I forgot. I don't remember what it was called, but it got canceled by Disney, and they ended up not making it. But it was supposed to be an original film. So we would have had 3 original films in a row. Normally, there's only one and then a sequel. So clearly, I think Blue Sky was getting on the right track towards the end there, and then Disney freaking shut them down. And Disney, here's the thing with Disney too, is they have a studio that replaced them, and that's the ones that are making the Ice Age movies now. So for people out there that want Blue Sky to return, sadly, I don't think it's ever going to return again, because Disney, already has a studio that replaced them. So basically, Disney gave Blue Sky the middle finger and stuff. They gave Blue Sky the fucking middle finger and basically told them to fuck off, because they got another studio now that's gonna be making Rio 3 too. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks that freaking Disney did this. And you can maybe argue that Blue Sky had its run, but Disney has another studio to replace it now. That's the problem, though, is because Blue Sky is gone, the movies are not gonna feel the same as they were when Blue Sky was under these movies. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad that this happened, but that's what modern Disney does. Disney does this all the freaking time. So yeah. I'm not very happy that Blue Sky shut down, but at the same time, we YouTubers can keep Blue Sky alive. We can keep it alive. By talking about movies, reacting to them, we can keep them alive. And, yeah, we can keep them all alive, and yeah, so we can keep all these movies alive by reviewing them and reacting to them. So that's good to know. So even though I'm not gonna lie, I'm not saying I'm not pissed off at Disney for doing this. I am pissed for them shutting down, the studio, basically replacing them with another one and pissing off a ton of people. But like I said, that's what modern Disney does. That's why I don't refuse to give Disney any more of my money, because they do this shit all the time. They do this all the freaking time, and that's why I don't give them my money. I actually wasn't gonna review Spies in the Skies. I had this planned all the way back in, I think, 2019 or 2020. I had this planned. I wasn't gonna do Spies in the Skies, but I figured because they were shutting the film down and there was only one film left, I would only be giving Disney some of my money. So I figured, why not just buy it? Because they're done with the studio anyway, all that. So yeah. But enough about that. Let's talk about another thing I noticed watching this. The logo actually changed a couple of times throughout this lifespan of this studio. Originally, they had the oval logo, and then they changed it to the scrat one. So yeah. Now there was a logo before it too, back when they were doing shorts and stuff, but they only used it for the first film, and then they had, I think, the shorts before that. It was basically the same thing, but it basically, looked different. So, well, they actually didn't have a logo for the first Ice Age movie. They didn't have a logo. They didn't have one because they did what they do with the other films. They just, when they say 20th Century Fox presents a Blue Sky Studios production, that's exactly what they did there, but they didn't show a logo. So yeah. But overall, though, that's pretty much about it. There's actually something else I want to mention, too, before I let this go. Before I let this go, I want to talk about who I'm going to give the crown to. If you guys don't know what this is, when I finish a studio off or something, I will give a character the crown of the movies. And I gotta say, I think Scrat deserves to be the crowned the king. He deserves to be crowned the king of the franchise. He is the king. He is crowned the king of this franchise. He made Blue Sky and the Ice Age movies all pretty good, even though some of them didn't turn out the best. So yeah, and the Joker character, which is I'm also going to be doing a Joker. the character I think is probably the weakest of the weakest. Actually, I might just do movies. Actually, on the weakest. The weakest will be actually Epic. Epic is the weakest of the movies. It's the Joker of the movies. It's freaking just the worst blue sky film I've ever seen. And well, Ice Age the first Ice Age movie is the considered the king. So yeah, I was gonna do characters, but I think doing this is actually better. So I don't know. Trying to do characters is hard, so I probably won't be doing that. But I don't know though. But overall though, I think this is pretty good here, and I think I don't have anything else to say, so I might actually let this go. So there is the Ice Age movies I could talk more about, but I think I'm done talking about them for right now. So overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and also time to answer the comment question before I let go of the video. The last thing I want to ask is, what is your guys' what do you guys prefer for studio wise? Do you guys think Pixar or Blue Sky is better? Let me know down in the comments below, and tell me what you guys think about this. I know the comment question might be a bit obvious, but I figured maybe some people think different, so I don't know. But overall, this is where I'm gonna lead this out. My throat's starting to hurt, so from talking. So, yep. So rest in peace, Blue Sky. You will be missed. We'll make sure your legend lives on forever. Anywho, this is Dash Outros. Have a wonderful day.